slap it again, loop the beginning, mix it with something they're familiar with. Give them a little something they can sing along with in the beginning. Loop the record. Let them feel it. Because now you have them attached to what they're familiar with, but that bass that's stumping is what they're not familiar with. And then let the record go. Let the record go, and they'll respond to it. Now you got them. Now when you play it the next time, they'll explode.
Let's get into it. Today is Monday, February 27th. Who are we speaking with?
Crue Paris, brother. Crue Paris.
Who is Crue Paris?
You know, that's a good question. I'm just a kid that fell in love with house music, man. That's an honest answer. I fell in love with it early. I had a cousin that was really, really big on clubbing in the 90s, and I was just I was sneaking around them. You know what I mean? I was too young to get in, and I was just sneaking around them, listening to music, absorbing what I could. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it early. I mean, like 13, 14, like I just fell in love with it. Um, I liked hip hop. I actually did hip hop for a while, but nothing made me feel like house music made me feel. And that was the beginning, man. That was the beginning.
Describe how it makes you feel.
The description of that is exactly that. It actually makes me feel. A lot of other music doesn't move me. It doesn't do anything to me. It's music. I hear it, but I don't feel it. I don't feel it. It doesn't tap into any emotion. House music, there's really no one feeling because there's so many different emotions that it taps into that I can't give you one feeling. I have songs that I love for all different types of reasons and all different types of emotions. My favorite song is like Never No More Lonely. I know it's old, but that's like it's my favorite. It's my favorite track. Um, it's nostalgic for me. Uh, it just takes me back to my childhood. It takes me back. That's what I'm saying. Like, see, little things like that. I almost zoned out. I was just drifting off, looking right because that's what it does. Nothing does that for me. Nothing does that for me. If we want to go current, I really like the Jeff Holden Space. That puts me back into this relationship that I was in. Like it's just nothing does it like that, man. It just taps into so many emotions, man, and that's a part of the reason why I love playing it. I love playing it, even if it's 5 people or 5,000 people in the room. I'm enjoying what I'm doing.
What is your intention when you DJ?
What I just said to you, to give you that. I'm hoping to be a conduit to your feelings, right? We may not have the same feelings, but I need you to feel something. I wanna be that connection. Me to the music, to you, back to me. That's how it works, right? I'm playing it and I'm feeling it because I'm playing it and I'm giving that energy to you. And hopefully you feel it and you give that energy back to me. You know, it's just a circle of energy.
I
That's
love
my
that.
motivation. My motivation is to make you feel something. I don't want you to leave without feeling something. And also introducing new music as well. Introducing new music as well. Like if you leave and I played and you don't, and like you know everything I played, I don't feel I did my job.
Or if you play Space Rider, then I can't fuck with you. Those who know. Take us back to the beginning. What DJs were you following? This was the 90s. You were 13. Were you listening to the radio? Were you recording it on Maxell 90-minute tapes? Like, take me back to that
Absolutely.
Crew. That moment when you discovered it. What were do you remember the songs that like made you go, damn, this is it?
You got Never No More Lonely. You got Baby Love, Cassie Aware.
Oh,
My gosh, yeah, man, you got. I mean, even some disco joints like Deputy of Love. Oh man, there's so many. But at that moment, I was just taking my cousin's tapes. That was really what I was doing. I was like snatching all his tapes and just
So he was a DJ or
keeping
he was
them.
recording the radio?
He wasn't a DJ. He wasn't a DJ. I believe that he was getting this stuff off the radio, and also he did have friends that DJ. So
Got you.
like these guys were playing some stuff, and they make mixtapes and stuff like that locally. And I would take all of his tapes. I would take them. I would
You
take them.
still
We're
have
in
them?
Jersey. What was that?
You still have them?
I wish I did. Wish I did, man. I
Mm,
wish I did. Moving back and forth, I lost track of some of those things, man. I wish I had those tapes.
mm, mm, mm. Talk to us about the first club you went to.
Um, First club I went to was a hip hop club. It's crazy. I don't even remember the name of the club, but that is the moment when I realized this music doesn't do what that music does. It's
Mm,
like it was rowdy. It's the 90s. You got gangster rap, and it's just like this is not what I want. It is nothing, man. It's nothing. And then I went to the shelter and damn, that was it. That
really?
was yeah, that like yo, my man, that changes everything. That changes everything.
What year was it?
So no clue early on. But
Mhm.
hearing Timmy and
Tell
that
people
just
what
changed it.
shelter is. Tell people what shelter people have never been. Tell people about the club, who the DJ is, and what the shelter experience is like.
If you haven't heard Timmy play live, you're cheating yourself. Like you gotta do that. Um, the experience is out of this world, man. It's an outer body experience. For me, it's feeling like you found your tribe. Like when you're looking for so long and you're going here, you're going there, nothing's really moving you, and then you walk in those doors, you feel like, oh my God, I didn't know other people felt this way about music. It's like you found your tribe, man. That's the best way I could describe it. Finding my tribe, finding my sound, finding people that appreciate the music as much as I do. It was a beautiful experience. It was just a beautiful, and it was crazy because I knew the music existed, but I didn't know, I had never experienced the people in that way, the dancing, just like the vulnerability. You know what I mean? Just everyone's open. Everyone's open. It's like what I said to you about being the connection between the people and the music. That is like so prevalent in shelter. You can feel it. The hair stand on your arms, man. It's a completely different experience. And Timmy is just man,
How would you describe Timmy's style?
energy, energy, constant energy. Definitely a connection with the people. For me, it's energy. For me, if I had to pick one word, it's energy. It's energy.
Mhm. Talk to us about the transition from being a fan of the music to becoming a DJ of the music.
Um, for me, it was almost unbelievable because now you're meeting the DJs that you admire. You're playing alongside the DJs you admire, and you're also getting advice from these guys that have this wealth of knowledge and experience in this field and all of these stories, man. And it's just, I was a true student. I was a true student. Just talking to Mark Francis all of the time and just being able to pick his brain. It was I was so appreciative, but it was also humbling at the same time when you realize how much these guys know and how much music, like they've forgotten more music than I'm probably gonna get to know, man. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And the camaraderie. Like, I mean, for me, at least that's my story. I got welcomed in pretty well. I didn't have I wasn't met with any hostility. It was a beautiful thing, man. And I was just trying to soak it all up. It was like being a sponge. It's like being a kid, man. It's like being a kid.
How did you meet them? How were you welcomed into the community?
Uh, okay, so I was making CDs and I was selling them, passing them out, flash drives and things like that. I was at the shelter, trying to remember what anniversary it was. Maybe it was the 30th, maybe it was the 28th, something like that. It was around that time. So I passed out some CDs and I gave it to Mark Francis. And I had
Was
a
this an
little
output?
card.
This is an output in Brooklyn?
This was that output. Exactly. This was that output.
No, that party
Yeah,
was fire. I flew in for that. That party, yo, the main room was crazy.
bro.
And then
Bro.
it was him and Joe. And then in the back
It
room,
was him and Joe.
and the back room was like the little sweat coming off the ceiling. It was
Yeah,
crazy.
the back room. What was that? Was that the Panther room, right? It was like
Yeah, it
Mark,
was like
Jihad.
Mark Jihad, Lil Ray, I
Oh, you can't
think.
remember who else was there. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
crazy.
crazy.
That shit was crazy.
Yo, so that was the night I was in there passing out CDs, right?
Yeah.
So I'm passing out CDs. I give it to Mark. I'm like, all right, he's probably not really gonna listen to it. So he calls me. He's like, y'all listen to your CD. I'm like, all right, click. I hung up on him. I didn't think it was really him. I hung up on him. Like, yeah, this is Mark Francis. Yeah, click. So he called back. Like, yo, this is really Mark. You know, whatever. We started talking. He's like, yo, I like the CD. I can hear that you can mix, but I want you to play a little deeper. So I'm like, okay, cool. I put some stuff up on SoundCloud, and he listened, and he really took to some of the other stuff that I was playing. And yo, the rest is history, man. He like I did his birthday party. Like the birthday party came up. It was like December 5th, and he let me open up. It was me, him, and Jihad, and
Mm.
that was the beginning of it, man. That was the beginning of it. Then he found out that I produced hip hop, so he was like, "Yo, I think you can probably do house. You could probably produce some house records," and got into it. And he liked what I did. Started pushing for me, man, and here I am.
I know, going on tour, coming back from, you were just in the Caribbean, right?
St. Lucia. We did St. Lucia.
Yeah, St. Lucia, exactly.
Phenomenal experience.
What was that like?
Phenomenal. Oh man. I'm still trying to shake St. Lucia, man. It was beautiful, right? Because you didn't have to play in this box. You know, sometimes, you know, the audience gets accustomed to certain things, especially in Jersey. We get a little fickle. And it was just great to be able to come out of that box and do what you wanted to do. And people from everywhere. They got a lot of people from Chicago was there. Met Steve Maxwell, Ian Friday. It was cool, man. And just being able to stretch out a little bit was fun. It was fun.
Mhm.
It was definitely fun.
How would you define soulful house?
Uh, Vocal. It's almost like church with floor to the floor beats, right? It's real vocal. A lot of organs. I describe it as it's Jersey to me. It's really Jersey. It's a Jersey sound. It's a Jersey sound. I mean, at least you know that's the way I look at it.
And then tell people, what is the Jersey sound? And how does that differ from New York and other sounds?
You got to go like Tony Humphries, Zanzibar. That's the Jersey sound. What's that like? Hippie Torales, Jelly Bean Benitez, those guys. That's the Jersey sound. That's the Jersey sound, and it differs from New York in ways that, like, okay, so I can't really give you how it differed at that time, but right now it differs from New York in a sense of open-mindedness. Jersey's we're kind of still on that path where that's the sound. We don't really have an open mind to stray from that sound. I'm not saying there's no one here that wants to, but the majority, we're used to that sound. New York, I love the city, man. You can go over there and really get busy. You can get busy.
Mhm.
More open, more open. Not really stuck to one sound. People actually come to party, they come to dance. You know what I mean? As long as you present the music right and you play, yeah, they're open for it. They're open for it. They're ready. They're ready to be exposed to new music. And I feel like sometimes in Jersey, there's definitely favorites you got to play. And in New York, I don't feel there's anything you have to play.
Right,
If you play, you play.
right, right. Talk to us about DJing. How do you think about preparing for a DJ set? Or do you prepare? Do you just go with your
Um,
USBs? Or like, how do you think about prepping for a set?
I mean, the most prepping I do is I find out where I'm playing, try to get some intel on my crowd, people that attend this venue, and after that, it's really just crowd reading. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I try to test the waters a little bit. If I see that they're not responsive to it, then I'll scale back. Kind of give them 3 or 4 joints they know, and then slide in one that they don't, because you still want to introduce new music. So it's kind of like a cat and mouse game. You
Mm-hmm.
know, reading the crowd. You're That's really it. Read the crowd. Read the crowd. See what's working and what's not working. And even if it's not working, look for those 3 or 4 people that it is working for, because you can bring a record back and you can win a crowd over. You can win them over. I mean, you might have to play the record 3 or 4 times, but you can win them over. You just
Tell
gotta
people how you
analyze the
do that.
room.
Tell people how you do
How to
that.
do it.
Yeah.
All right, so the record's a hitter. You know the record's a hitter, but everyone's unfamiliar with it. You may have just gotten it today, so no one's heard it, but you know it's a hitter. So you play it. It's unfamiliar, so off the top, you may not get the reaction you want. But look around for any reaction. Read the people. So you got this guy in the back. He's bopping. This girl's at the bar. A couple guys dancing. You see it. Okay, we'll bring this back a little later. It might not have been the right time. You may have dropped it too early. Let's bring it in once you get the people on the floor a little bit. Mix it up. Bring it back in. Watch the reaction now. I guarantee you it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little different. Slap it again. Loop the beginning. Mix it with something they're familiar with. Give them a little something they can sing along with in the beginning. Loop the record. Let them feel it. Because now you have them attached to what they're familiar with, but that bass that's stumping is what they're not familiar with. And then let the record go. Let the record go. And they'll respond to it. Now you got them. Now when you play the next time, they'll explode.
Mm, that's genius. That's genius. Let's go back to Jersey. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Jersey City. Jersey City. That's exactly where I grew up. That's where I was born. Jersey City all day, man. Jersey
And
City all day.
what clubs did you go to back in the day?
Uh, See, I had the hip hop background at first.
Ah, so
So for me, yeah, so for me, it really wasn't house music at first. I did fall in love with it, but no one that I had around me outside of my cousin was into it.
got
So
you.
even when I started producing, I was producing hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, from what's that, like 17 throughout my 20s, it was hip hop. It was
Mm-hmm.
hip hop. It was always hip hop. But that love, that seed was planted early for house music. So like in my own personal time, that's what I would listen to. That's what I would play. That's what I would DJ with. But I just didn't have that audience. That's why I said like going to the shelter was like finding my tribe.
Mm.
Because all this time it felt like I'm doing this, but this isn't really what I want to play. This isn't really what I want to produce. So going to the shelter changed that. It allowed me
Understood.
to find those people and connect with people that were, of similar interests.
And then you're also a producer as well. So
Yes.
talk to us about creating a house track from beginning to end. How do you get the idea? How long does the process take? What tools are you using? What instruments are you using? Walk us through that process.
I use Logic, MPCs for drums, sample a little bit depending on what I'm doing. For me, I have to connect with the song. Let's say it's a remix. If it's a remix, I have to connect with the original vocals at first. So if I do that, once I strip the vocals from the original track, I have to work on the drums. Like that's gonna be the foundation of the song. It's like building a house. The drums are like the foundation, and then you go with the bass, which would be like the walls, and then you add the elements to it. And, it's like the ceiling and the pretty stuff. The elements is the pretty stuff. So you need the drums as the foundation. You need the bass as the walls, and then you add the pretty stuff to it. That's the way I structure it. But if I'm doing an instrumental track, the bass line is everything. The bass line it dictates the drums. If there's no vocals on the track, I need the bass to thump. It has to thump. I need you to feel it in the middle of your chest, and then we'll build the drums around that.
Mm. How do you know when a song is done?
When I have nothing else to feel for it.
Mm.
If I'm working on it and I still feel like I could do this, I can do that, it's not done. It's not done. Because being done is completely satisfied. There will be nothing left for me to feel when I'm done with a song. I pour everything into it.
Mm. Mm. Talk to us about the current state of house music. How would you describe it?
I think we gotta open up the door for some of the young guys, man. I think we gotta open up the door for some of the young guys, and that goes as far as DJs and dancers. Um, I think there's a boom waiting to happen. We have to be receptive to it. Um, but I do think it's coming. I do think it's coming. I don't think we're in a bad place. I think we're stagnated. I don't think it's a bad place though. I think we're just there until this boom occurs. But it's like we're like right at the cusp of it.
Mm. Talk to
But
us.
we have to be receptive, man. We have to let these young dancers come through and shine. We have to let these younger DJs come through. Like that's a big part. We have to humble ourselves and remember the essence of it. Like it's a community. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like started because we really had nowhere to express ourselves, and this was supposed to be for all of us. It wasn't an age factor involved. It wasn't a race factor, ethnicity, none of that. We have to open up. Like we have to open up like we started. Because in
Mm.
the beginning of this, it was open.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somewhere along the line, we kind of got cliquish. And we have to alleviate that. We have to get that out of there and open back up like the beginning. Remember the morals. Remember the foundation. Remember where it started. If we can do that, we'll be in a really good place.
I love it. I love it. Tell us about your DJ sets.
What
How
was
do you
that?
tell us about your DJ sets? How do you select tracks that you actually want to play?
Um, I go through my music frequently. I was taught to learn your music, to definitely know what you have in your catalog, like back to front. So I go through my music religiously, man. Like before this, I was going through music. I was literally going through, absolutely. I was going through music. And I do that probably 3, 4 times out of the week because I get so much music. Like I have to. You want to stay on top of it, you have to. And yeah, man, I just listen to my music. I listen to it constantly. So I kind of have a feel of what I'm liking right now, what I think the people need to hear right now. And when it's time to put a set together, or let's say, all right, so I gotta play on the 25th of March. I'm already right now like listening for potential songs that I know I want to pack. I treat it kind of like the old heads did with the packing crates. You know what I mean? We don't have records, we're doing USB and thumb drives, but I listen for potential joints that I know I want to bring with me. So I kind of have that mentality. I treat it like packing records.
I love that. Tell us about, speaking of packing records, what's your safety track where you go to a spot and the DJ before you ain't doing shit or the crowd is a little meh? What's that track that you like, this will get them to wake the fuck up?
Right now, I would say Cairo the Icon, right? Because it's just
Oh,
bass heavy. Yeah, it's bass
no.
heavy. It's gonna get you up. It's gonna get you up. But even with that, it's not enough to just throw that on. So I would probably loop it and mix it with something that's like friendly for everybody. And
Mhm.
then I would take that loop out and let the Cairo bang. And once I do that, I kind of got you and I got a direction of where I want to go.
Mm. How do you stay current on music?
How do I stay current?
Yeah.
Stay engaged. Go out. Hear other DJs play, listen to other DJs. Stay in a loop, man. Try to surround yourself with music constantly. After all, this is what we do. So if this is what you do, you should be surrounded by it at all times.
Mm.
Be surrounded by it at all times. You never fall out of the loop if you constantly have it on your mind. You constantly surround yourself with it. I'm either making it, listening to it, or going to hear it. And that's how I stay current.
Given that your love and passion is music and it takes a lot of time and effort and energy, how does that impact your personal relationships, given the amount of time it's spent on music?
Well, my wife is super supportive, man. Like super supportive. So in that regard, it doesn't really. It doesn't. She comes out.
Oh,
She
perfect.
loves when I yeah, she comes out, she loves when I play. Uh she loves the music in general. So I kind of got it easy in that regard because I have someone that's open to the music. Like she listens to house music as much as I do.
Oh, so that's a
It's
winner
like
because I know some people that don't have that, so it's a challenge.
yeah, man. Like sometimes she's like, "Yo, did you hear this?" Like so for me,
Wow.
it's kind of
Wow.
good for me.
That's a good look right there.
Yeah, it's kind of good for me, man.
Talk to us about memory. Do you have a particular memorable experience where a DJ or performer turned it out, or an event that you were DJing in and you were like, this is why I do it?
Yeah, I got. Ooh, hold on, let me think. Let me think. I actually have a couple of those, so I'm trying to
Yeah,
get the right
give
one.
no, give us both of them.
Uh, okay, so I got Mark for one. Um, we did a party and he let me close. It was him and Jihad. They let me close,
Mm,
and I'm gonna be completely honest. Like my nerves were like this, man. Just because
mhm.
they tore it down, like, my nerves were crazy, and they
Where
let
was
me
it?
close.
Where was this?
This was, what's crazy? We had a location and the venue. I don't know what happened with the venue. We actually had to like last minute change and move it to like this hotel kind of like thing, whatever. And it was raining and we didn't know if people were gonna show up, and they actually showed up. And they let me close. And I don't even think they told me I was closing until we got there. So which is even more pressure. And they killed it, man. And I got on. I just knew I couldn't bomb. I just knew I couldn't bomb, man. And the response that I got from the people, as well as from Margaret Jihad, like the support, it was bananas, man. And yeah, I killed it, man. And that's one of my favorite moments. That's one of my favorite moments. It was really dope, man. It was really dope to see the people respond in that way. Especially like playing with the two titans. It was crazy.
Mhm.
And another moment that actually it might actually have Jihad in it as well. Um, I wasn't playing. It was a party in the summertime. It's like a backyard event, something like that. It was outdoors, and Jihad just went crazy. Like he went crazy, man, and and just like that's when I knew. Like I just watching him and listening to his selection. His selection was super smart. It was super smart, man. Like everything was on point. Everything had a purpose. Everything he did was intentional, and he just went crazy, man. And I sat back, I listened, and I'm just like, yo, this is what I aspire to be one day because this guy is losing it right now. And the people were just gone, 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 zoned out, another dimension. He went crazy. He
Wow.
went crazy. And I always talk to Mark about Jihad's selection and his pacing. Like he's one of the best at pacing. I think that's a skill that a lot of DJs overlook, the ability to pace. His pacing is incredible.
Tell people what pacing is and what's good pacing versus bad pacing.
Good pacing is it goes into crowd reading, but it also goes into intuition. Like you have to have that in you. He knows exactly when to turn it up and when to bring it down. Like I said, a part of that is reading the crowd, but it's not just as simple as reading the crowd because sometimes they look ready, but you can jump the gun and go too far too fast. He has that in the bag, man. Like he knows exactly when to do it. I can't describe it because I don't have it. I don't have it, so I can't describe it. I aspire to get it one day, but he has it. He has it, and I know that came with years and years of practice, but he has that. Like he's one of my favorites at that. Like he's phenomenal with his pacing.
Have you had a chance to experience house music around the world, like in other cities?
Other cities, yeah. Other countries, not yet. But I do intend. I do intend to get there. I
Mhm.
do intend to get there. Like I want to hear Carl Cox play. I want to hear
Yes,
Carl Cox play.
that's a treat. That's a treat.
Yeah, I don't want to hear him play here. I want to hear him play over there. I need to go away.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it's a different sound, but it's really strong and it's yeah, it's really good.
yeah.
What advice would you give to the next generation?
Um, Stay true to yourself. Stay true to yourself. Because when I was coming in here, I got a lot of flack for kind of
Really?
stretching out. Yeah, yeah, for playing like I didn't get flack from like the guys that were mentoring me, but like a lot of promoters, I got a lot of flack from in the beginning from for playing different, for not being afraid to to play outside of the box and outside of the norm. And I would I don't know if I would call it flat or I would call it like guidance. I guess it was their form of guidance. Like, yo, stay here, do this, do that, do that. But I feel like if you're the new kid on the block and you stay here and you stay doing this and you do that, you do everything inside the pocket, everything the way that it's been done, and you're not breaking a mold. You know what I mean? You're not doing it, you're not doing a service to this genre that we love. You're not doing a service to what we love. You have to step outside and take those chances. It's not always gonna work, but so what? That's what it's about. It's not always supposed to work, but that's how you find out what does work. Knowing what doesn't work is just as important as knowing what works.
Uh,
So I got a lot of flack for taking some chances, taking a risk, but I
mhm.
don't care. I wouldn't change it.
I love it. And what's next for Crew Paris?
The world, man. I like you said, I want to get out here and hear other DJs, but I also want to be a part of what's going on worldwide, globally. Like I want to play everywhere. I want to play everywhere. Um, London, Greece. I want to play everywhere, man. I want to play everywhere. I want to introduce this music that I love, and especially particular songs that I do love that maybe you haven't heard, or maybe they haven't been broken yet. I want to be that guy. I want to follow the trends and the patterns of the guys that came before me, with having the type of love for this music that allows you to break new music, allows you to usher in new DJs, allows you to usher in new dancers, new relationships, new sounds. I want to be a part of that next wave that's remembered.
I love
Yeah.
that. Love that. That's uh no, that's incredible. Is there anything that oh, another question is why are your mixes so hard to find on the internet? Or is that by design?
That is kind of my fault. I got to put some more up. I got to put some more up. Because
Like,
at one point I was putting a lot up and I snatched them all down. So I got to put them all back up.
yeah, because I remember I remember when I discovered your stuff, I was like, oh, this is great. And then whatever. And then I go back and I'm like, they're all gone. And like you have one on SoundCloud and one on Mixcloud,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I'm like, this boy is nice. More people need to hear him.
Thank you, man. That's on me. I gotta put them back. I gotta put them back.
But also,
gotta
I
put
get
'em
it.
back.
Like some people have a strategy. Like I know some DJs, so I'll leave nameless. Tell their mentees not to put stuff online. I know some people just put out, select mixes maybe once every couple of months so people know that you're nice, so that it creates demand. So they're very different strategies. I wasn't sure if it was part of a strategy or was just intentional of like not putting stuff out. So
No, you know what it was? I took them down with every intention to kind of like revamp the page and put all new stuff up.
got you.
And I just never got around to it. What happened? I wound up getting a surge of gigs, and I started playing a lot more. And I'm like, I'm not even recording this stuff to put it up.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I did a nice little stretch of gigs, and I didn't even get to record. So, but that was my intention, to record these gigs and throw them up, and I didn't get to record. And yeah, that's on me. That's on me. That was actually a mistake, because I actually just missed being able to go up there and listen to them myself.
Yeah, even the old mixes are great because it captures a point in time of what records were popping back then. If it was like, sometimes you hear an old mix and you hear like, Timmy playing like Blue Blackness or whatever, and it just takes you back to that time and that sound and the music of that time. Anyway, is there any question that I didn't ask that would help people better understand Crue Paris?
I think you touched on a lot. You asked me better questions than I've ever been asked in an interview. This is probably like the best interview I've done.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Thank you for considering me.
Definitely. Peace.
All right. Peace, brother.